Y'all, we are only 2 episodes into Survivor 48, and already we're starting to see some power players step up and rise to the occasion, while others are sadly fading into the background, but we will get to that in just a minute. There's going to be a lot to talk about in this episode, including some new rivalries that are starting to form, but before we get into all that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button below so that you can stay tuned as we continue with this season. Now, let's get into it. So this episode kicks off with the Green Vula tribe coming back to camp after their last tribal council. Things are still clearly very tense between Mary and Say because these two girlies games could not be any more opposite. At this point, they're really just fighting to see who is going to be the one to take the other person out and who's going to be the last one standing. Like, I would honestly be shocked if both of these ladies were able to make it to the merge together, but we're gonna see. Mary has been on the bottom of the tribe pretty much since week 1. And now Sai is being looked at as a big target. 1, because she has an idol. And 2, she's been making it clear to everybody that she is a smart and savvy player. So right now, it's really not looking too good for either of these ladies. Meanwhile, on the Purple Loggy tribe, we're getting more scenes of Star being the clear outcast over there. And she can feel it too. It's like she gets the hint that she's not really vibing with everybody else. So in the meantime, Sis is just out there looking for idols for her own damn self. And after searching for a few days, sure enough, she comes across her tribe's beware advantage. The only problem is she is not going to be able to crack that complicated ass code on her own. So Star is going to go up to Joe and ask for his help, who is then going to go to Shauhin and ask for his help. So now these guys are in on it. And then later on, for whatever reason, Star decides to tell Thomas and Bianca too. So now damn near everybody knows about the idol. The one person that she didn't tell was Eva, because she's really the main one that Star doesn't really like that. But eventually even Eva is able to find out. And right now, I am just really cringing because I hate this for Star. It's like you have to have at least one person that you can talk to and at least halfway trust and bounce some ideas from out there. But it's clear that Star really doesn't have anybody. I mean, people are already talking about deceiving her because of this stuff right here and now. I really have no notes for this other than to try your best to form something with somebody early on. Seriously, timing is key. In my opinion, you have to have at least one person that you trust out there, even if you don't confide every single thing to them, you know? Really, it seems like maybe Star should have just went to Shauhin in the first place and left it at that, because it seems like he's at least willing to help Star out somewhat and shake the table just a little bit. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Star's game, because to me, voting her out now would be a complete waste. If anything, they should be on Thomas's ass, because he is clearly the most cutthroat player on that whole tribe, hands down. And the last thing I'll say about the Purple tribe that I think is worth noting is when we get that segment of Joe lamenting about what good of a spot he is in the game. He's just like, oh no, I have so many allies and so many options. It's just going to be so hard for me to decide who to betray first. And even though I'm joking and giving him shit now, I recognize that that's a real dilemma. And I also recognize that there's probably a reason why they chose to put Joe's point of view in this edit. Since the Purple tribe has been winning so much, Joe's social standing hasn't really been relevant yet. But so far in both of these episodes, the edit has really taken its time to make sure that we, the audience, know exactly where Joe stands. It doesn't necessarily mean anything concrete, but stuff like this does just give me the hint that he could be making the merge at least. And meanwhile, over on the Orange Siva tribe, they're just pretty much out there vibing. Again, I definitely feel like we're getting the least strategic content from this tribe. It's mainly a bunch of weird personal content, like them talking about having extra nipples and extra long toes. Which, hey, don't get me wrong, I think it's adorable how they can all bond about being weirdos together. But stuff like this really doesn't help me see anybody in the Orange tribe as a winner so far. Now that we are all caught up with everybody in true new era fashion, it is now time for 3 players on each tribe to get selected to go out and take that long journey, boat ride, twist thing, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to get very bored of this little secret journey twist thing that they've been propping up the past few years. Even though we get slightly different versions and slightly different mini games each season, I'm just ready for something else, like it's starting to get stale. We pretty much know what to expect, which means the players also pretty much know what to expect. There's just like no mystery to these things anymore. Plus, to me, we don't need any extra advantages added to the game or any extra people losing their vote. Just let the players play. Thomas, Mary, and Mitch are all selected to go to the journey. And when they get there, they are presented with this slide puzzle that they must solve in order to win an advantage. And if they don't solve it, guess what? They lose their vote. What a surprise. Now, Mary is the only one who is not able to complete her puzzle and thus ends up losing her vote, which really, really sucks for her because she is definitely on the bottom of her tribe. Tough break. And I do want to give a special shout out to Thomas here for lying to his entire tribe about his advantage and saying that he sat out instead. Real cute, boo. I see you. He ate with that. I don't blame him at all, even though I just have a small feeling that somebody's going to end up finding out eventually anyway. I know it. Mitch decides to go ahead and be honest and tell his entire tribe that he wanted advantage, which I don't think was the best move, especially considering the fact that he looks to be on the bottom right along with Charity. So we're just going to have to see if he's able to use this advantage to make something shake and do something to save himself. And he's going to need some sort of help because later on in the episode, we see that Kyle ends up finding the beware advantage on their tribe. He goes to his bestie Kamilla about this and she's able to help him crack the code, and now Kyle has a full-blown idol as well. So yeah, things are definitely starting to look even worse for Mitch and Charity, especially since the other 4 people on that tribe all seem to have ganged up. The next immunity challenge ends up being this classic ocean challenge, which is really standard run-of-the-mill Survivor. Nothing really new or exciting to note about any of these challenges so far in this season, so hopefully that changes. And just like last time, the purple and orange teams are able to secure the win for themselves, sending the Green tribe back to tribal council again for the second time in a row. And with 1 idol in play and 1 vote missing, things could get a little bit hectic heading into this next tribal. Back at the Green tribe's camp, the vibes are just pretty low all around. We have Cedrek feeling really low because he felt like he cost his team the last win. He's talking a little bit about how nervous he is that he could be next, but like I said in the last video, I still think at this point Cedrek is in the best spot out of everybody on that tribe. He seems very insulated right now, so as long as he can keep his people, he should be good. And so the overall consensus is still to come Mary, just because she's the only one not really in an alliance, but Kevin has some more devious plans in mind. See, Kevin recognizes that Say is a super stealthy player, so he wants to go ahead and cut her out now so that he can be the power player on the tribe. Now, let me be clear. I don't think Kevin's assessment is wrong here at all, okay? Because in these first few days, Say has proven herself to be a very capable player. But at the same time, she's also kind of proven herself to be more loyal than Kevin because she hasn't tried to get out any of her allies at all, like whatsoever. So Cedrek is gonna go up to Say and give her the heads up and warn her about Kevin and warn her to use her idol. But that's not gonna be good enough for Say because now she wants Kevin's ass, and not in a good way. Now, this next whole saga isn't clearly explained to us, but we do see Say kind of planting seeds and dropping hints that Kevin is unloyal, and somehow, some way, Say's words start to really resonate with Justin. I'm hoping they're able to explain this more in full in the next episode, but right now, it's really just a hot mess heading into Tribal. During Tribal Council, we have Say and Mary arguing once again, just further showing how opposite their play styles really are. Say is leaving nothing to the imagination. She is just very honest and open about wanting Mary out and her being on the bottom, while Mary is choosing to play a little bit more demure. And nobody's really bringing up Kevin's name at all here, so at this point, I'm not even sure if the votes were going to go in that direction. But we eventually get to the votes where we see Say play her idol, and despite all his devious planning, Kevin is the one who was ultimately voted out here. Wow. You know, I really was not expecting this. I was not expecting the boys to flip on Kevin, but here we are. That is clearly the power of Sei, okay? It is Sei's island. They're all just living on it. Again, I'm hoping that they show us more in the next episode about how exactly Sei was able to convince them so quickly that Kevin was a bigger threat. So with all that said and done, I would still say that Cedrek and Justin are definitely in the best positions on this tribe. I feel like they're covered from all angles right now. Really, it's Mary that seems to be next up on the chopping block. And on the Orange Siva tribe, Charity definitely looks like she's on the bottom, but hey, Mitch is right down there with her, but at least he has an advantage. And it looks like Kyle and Kamilla may be running things over there. Kyle has that idol and Kamilla just seems super savvy, so I'm excited to see what these two are going to do together. And on the Purple Loggy tribe, it looks like Thomas is doing great. I mean, he has a bunch of social connections and he has that secret advantage. Heavy on the secret, okay? But my big worry for him is that his dominant and even slightly aggressive gameplay could be kind of obvious. If his tribe was smart, they would not let Thomas get to the merge, I'm telling you. So for those reasons, I'm gonna go ahead and actually say that Joe is in the best position on this tribe. It looks like he has connections with literally every single person and he has hella options. Everybody is just coming to him with all of their information. Yeah, he's eating, I fear. So of course I want to know, now that we're 2 episodes down, who are some of your favorite players or who's your favorite tribe so far? I feel like it's still a little too early for me to be picking personal favorites, but I will say Thomas, Joe, Sei, and Kamilla are all the most interesting people to watch so far. But overall, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited for the tension and drama and little arguments we're going to get this season. Bring it on. Of course, I'll be back here next week to recap the next episode with you all. But until then, bye.